friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie, and let's get started. And today is the Crafty Mama's gift giving ideas for Father's Day hop. So let's get into the crafts. For DIY number 1, I'm going to take one of these larger frames from the Dollar Tree. It's a little bit more sturdier than some of the others. And I'm going to pop off this little rose. It's like a little foam rose. Save it for another project. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the backing. And I'm going to go in with some satin Mod Podge because it's a little bit difficult to paint this kind of frame. It's got like a plastic veneer. So now that it has the Mod Podge, I'm going to paint it up with some Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, like this. And so now I'm going to work on the backing and remove the excess glue and any of the excess paper that I can possibly peel off. I'm not going to worry too much about what's left on there. The scrapbooking paper that I'll be using is pretty thick and won't show through. So I'm going to go ahead and use this Mod Podge. It's the matte one, which probably I could have used a satin one for this one too. And here's this scrapbooking paper that I chose that I had on hand, and I'm going to measure this or kind of outline it, and I'm going to use my little rotary blade that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to simply cut out what I need. And this little blade works really well. If you've never tried it, yeah, and you see it, definitely pick it up. It's a really good little rotary blade. For $1, it's definitely worth it. So now I'll go ahead and use the Mod Podge that I showed earlier. And again, like I mentioned, I could probably use the satin one, but I went ahead and used the matte one. And I like the matte one for sealing things on the front, on the outside. But I went ahead and used this one for adhering, which works too. So now I'm going to go in with some of these little stones from the Dollar Tree. They come in bags. And I'm going to form here on the right Dad, and over here on the left his little daughter, and then on his shoulder I'll try to form his son. So as I work the stones, you just have to kind of like figure out the shape of the stones. The flat stones work best, and then of course the elongated stones work well for like the legs, and so forth and so forth. I mean, you can figure it out. This little piece here that was broken, I used it as her ponytail. And then there was a little broken one, and I used them for their hands. So now I'm going to go in with E6000 to glue them up. And here I'm going to add a little flower, a little mini rose from the Dollar Tree, because he's given her a rose. And now I'll use a little bit of hot glue, and I'm going to add a couple little leaves to the flower, just to make it more cutesy. And now once I have that done, I'm taking some of this thin jute twine from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to create a tiny little bow, and that's going to go on her ponytail, so you won't see such a harsh break between the head and the ponytail, to help give it a little bit of cuteness. Because yeah, she needs a ponytail, she needs a little hair bow too. So now I'm going to create a vinyl with my Cricut, and it's going to say Dad, a son's first hero, and a daughter's first love. Oh my goodness, I saw that on the internet and I thought that was so cute. I knew I had to replicate it. But look how cute. Oh my goodness, so cute. And now I also created with my Cricut these couple little embellishments. So I'll place one on the bottom, and I'll place one right above the little family grouping, like this. And now all I have to do is place my frame back on, and this one is done. Super cute. What do you guys think? Well, I sure hope you enjoyed that first craft. And like I mentioned earlier, today is the Crafty Mama's gift giving ideas for Father's Day hop. And I am hosting with Melissa over at Melissa Makes It DIY. She and I are hosting together. And joining us for this hop is Ellie over at DIY From House to Home, Sun from Sun's Arts, and Chantel from Crafty Hints. So after you're done viewing my video, please head on over to my description box below and follow the link to the next person on the hop. And when you return to the person you started with, you know you went through the whole hop. Okay, well, let's get on with the crafts. For DIY number 2, I'm taking one of these turners, these bamboo turners, and then I have one that's already cut from a previous project, and I'll link that project up in the cards if you're interested to see what I did with the other piece. And so I marked it so that they're both even and the same size, and with my cutting blade, with my utility knife, I'm just going to score it. And now with my Dollar Tree hacksaw, I'm going to literally just cut it off. And it just took a little bit of strength, but it did a good job and got it cut. So now with my finger sander, I'm going to sand up all the little edges, all the little rough edges. And I'm also going to sand the little curves on the other side, just to make them all more uniform. And so now that I have them all ready, I'm going to go in with some of this Elmer's wood glue and add a little dab, and also use my hot glue on both sides. Just try not to mix them together because they work better if they're not touching. So now I'm going to adhere them together, the two little turners, and I'm going to go in with some wood filler to fill in any little gaps, which in reality is not going to matter. You can actually skip this step, but it did make the whole piece more strong. So I guess it was good for something. But yeah, you really won't see it anyway. You won't see the gap. So now I'm going to let that dry, and while that's drying, I'm going to go in with my little frame, and I'm going to use this little frame from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to pop off the back, and I'm going to take my putty knife and remove the This Is Us off of it. And I was trying to save it for another project, but it kind of all broke in pieces, but that's okay. It was kind of a uniquely odd way of writing This Is Us all together. So now I'm going to go in with my finger sander and smoothen up the front. And now I'm going to go in with some of the satin Mod Podge and put another layer, or put a layer of the Mod Podge on this frame as well. It has that same plasticky veneer on it, which makes it difficult to paint. And here I went in with Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. And so now I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the other project. Use the other piece of that same scrapbooking paper, and I'm going to do the same thing, just cut it with my rotary blade. And once I get that cut, then I'll go in with the Mod Podge and just adhere the scrapbooking paper to the backing like this. And now I'll go back to my little piece, and with my finger sander, I'm going to sand off any excess wood filler that's on there, and I'll do both sides. And now I'll go in with some antique wax, and with my baby wipe, I'll give it a nice coat. And now I'll go in with some of this faux leather ribbon that is so beautiful, very manly. And I'm just going to take some hot glue, and with just little dabs, because I don't want anything showing, I'm going to wrap this around my little bow tie. Yes, that's what this is. This is a bow tie. Super cute. So I'll adhere that, and I'm going to frame this. So I'm going to glue this piece onto my little backing and onto my frame. But you can very easily attach another piece of the faux leather ribbon to create a real bow tie for your man to wear. You could definitely wear it. But anyway, for here, I'm just going to put it in the little frame. And here it is. What do you guys think? For DIY number 3 and my last DIY of this video, I picked up this cutting board from Dollar General for $6. And it's a very good piece compared to the wood rounds you can get at the home improvement stores that are much more. And this is already finished and it's already painted. And so all I'm going to do is create a vinyl with my Cricut, and it says Papa. And this particular piece is dedicated to my hubby because he's a papa since I'm a Mimi. And it says Papa the man. Oh my goodness, I was giggling the whole time I was creating this. The man. The myth. Oh my goodness, and the last part is my favorite. And the bad. The bad influence. That is totally a papa. A papa. And this is just as simple as this. What do you guys think? Well, I sure hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And also, don't forget to hop on over to my description box and follow the link to the next person on the hop. And again, once you return to the person you started with, you know you went through the whole hop. So until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great day. Bye-bye.